Good morning, Flosstube. My name is Elizabeth Martinez, phantastitches, and this is my Flosstube update number 85. This is a channel about cross stitch, and this is my today is Saturday, October. Tuesday was the 1st, Wednesday was the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. October 5th. Saturday, October 5th. Today is Saturday, October 5th. And this is a channel about cross stitch, so I want to get to that right away. Oh, before I do that, welcome back to my subscribers, and welcome to anybody who's stumbled across this channel for the first time. Welcome. We're going to talk about cross stitch. For those of you who watched last week, I talked about the design that my sister's worked on, I should say. She drew the picture and then made a cross stitch from it, and I'm working on, I worked a little bit on the model for it. And I worked just a tiny bit more. There's Santa's hand, and I think I'm going to keep that secret. It's part of his clothing. But anyway, this is what I did his arm, his shoulder and arm and everything, and the bottom of his coat. His belt is going to be back there, but I didn't have the black. I thought I had black and the gold of his buckle. I thought I had those in the bag with his with all the other threads, and I didn't have them. But so I just started on his. Yeah. Anyway, so I didn't get. You can't really tell much from this, but yeah, I worked a little bit more on it. I tried. I put it in the car because we had some errands to run, and I thought I could do it while we were out running errands, and I really couldn't stitch in a moving car. I couldn't do it, and so while we were stopped, I just did this briefly. And anyway, but what I forgot to mention last week is I didn't want to reveal the design itself, but the title I could reveal, and it's called 10 Minutes to Midnight. And so anyway, it involves Santa Claus. That's Santa Claus right there. So I worked on that a little tiny bit on Saturday. I want to put it in a kind of safe place. And then I spun my decision roulette wheel. And excuse me just a minute. I didn't organize this very well. And what came up was this dragon Biscornu. It's part of my Christmas list. It's, anyway. I'm debating with myself whether or not, sorry, wait, I'm trying to make, okay. Debating with myself whether or not I'm going to actually do this, because it requires, some finishing skills, and I don't know how well I'm going to do with, because there were 2 of these that I was going to work on, and originally 3, and I changed my mind. I want anyway. But finishing it, requires a level of skill that, because you have to do it a certain way, and so I don't know how that's going to go. But in the meantime, I'm still plugging away at it. So, last time I worked on this, which was quite a while ago, I had just his body done. So, these little dots here and there are part of, since this pattern repeats itself, there's another dragon over here, and, there's like 4 dragons and 4 castles, and with the flags on top. And so this right here, there's some in the picture, there's a cat. Sorry. Snug, please don't do that. Here. So around here there's like a vine with some leaves and flowers and stuff. And that's what these little these little red or orange dots are. They're going to be like, little flowers or berries or whatever. And then this green, and there's some more leaves that go on this. And then it'll be connected with a backstitched vine. And then these are little flags that go over the castle. And there's another one over here that I didn't do. I think I had like a scrap of thread I was doing these with. And so over here, there's more of the little blossoms and more of the flags. A couple more flags, and there's another one that goes over here. And then I did like these, the little out things on his wing and his scales and his tail, and his nose and eye. And then these are the toes of his other foot. Heel and toes like this of his other foot here. It's another shade of green that I didn't have. I thought I had it in the bag with this, and I think I rated all my projects for. It might be in the bag with that 10 minutes to midnight thing. I don't know. But anyway, so I did the castle, one of the castles here, and more. These are dragon toes for another dragon over here. So yeah, I did a little bit of work on this last Sunday, I think. Yeah, a little bit of this on Sunday. So there's that. And then so I spun the wheel again. And this time this Needle Blings design thing came up, and this is kind of smashed it. But this design came up on Monday, and I started working on it, and I thought, gosh, I'm really close to finishing it, and so I just kept working on it, and it took me longer than I thought it would, partly because there was probably more to do than I thought there was, but also because I was just tired. Things were going on all week, and like on Tuesday, my younger sister was playing with the community college orchestra in Mesa, and so we went up there to hear them. There was a concert with I guess two bands, the community band, the concert band, and then the orchestra that she plays in. So we went to hear them Tuesday night. So that, so a lot of Tuesday was kind of wiped out. I worked just a few hours on I had Bible study in the morning, and then worked a few hours on this, and then we went to the concert that night, and so anyway, so I have a finish. Yay! Here. May you never be too old to search the skies on Christmas Eve. So there's the little town. I finished the town and the windows, and yeah. And there's the little holly berries up here, and the words. So it's very cute. It's very adorable. I fell in love with this design when I saw it, and this is on 18 count Ada by Jan Lin Corporation, or company, I should say. And this is tea dyed with ginger tea, so it's a little bit darker than like if you use regular tea, But yeah. In the fabric, I don't know. It's very soft, very supple. It's not like stiff Ada or whatever. And maybe it's because of the dyeing process that, wadding it up to dye it. But it's a little bit on the, I want to say, like, it almost seems like burlap. You know, it's a little scratchy, like not soft, and you know, I don't know. But it's very supple. You know, very nice. And so for finishing, I think I'm gonna finish it as a pillow the way it is in this design here. But oh, and these are Weeks Dye Works threads. Yeah. So yeah, Christmas Eve Ride by Needle Bling Designs. It's just a cute design. Yeah. One thing that I noticed when I was doing this is that, I don't know if you can tell, on this tee, and I think, yeah, on this one, you can tell on these little crossbars on the tee, there's, you know, 1 stitch on this side and 2 stitches on this side. And this one up here is the same way. But this one only has 1 on either side, and this one only has 1 on either side. And I looked at the pattern, and I double checked on the pattern. And, you know, because I did these all separately. I did this one, and I did this one. And then I went back and you know, did the rest of it here. Like, I started here and came this way, and then started here and came this way. And it wasn't until I was doing this tee here, I was doing this last, you know, that that I realized that they were different. That there were these 2 tees and these 2 tees, and I checked the pattern, and I thought, well, I could go back and, like, you know, put 1 stitch in, and, you know, on either of these, because there's room there, certainly. Because I thought, well, is there some other, are they designed some other way or something, you know? But there's room to put the stitch in there, but I just thought, oh, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to leave it. Yeah, most people won't notice it, but, you know. So, anyway, it's cute, isn't it? It's cute. Little tiny Santa. Little teeny tiny Santa. Anyway, so that's my finish. Yay. I'm done with that. I had crossed 1 project off my Christmas project list. And then I was watching Priscilla and Chelsea stitching with the Housewives, and I don't want to show this pattern because it's a freebie that they don't want to, you know, they don't want to spread around. It's just for, you know, but it's called, I don't know if there's a picture down here, a little teeny tiny picture down here. Chicken Joy is what it's called. I don't know if this is going to focus on there very well, but there's a tree and a little chicken, and it says Joy. Yeah. Well, it's very cute, but it's a design for that. And so I downloaded it, and I probably won't do it this Christmas, since I don't think I'll have time, but maybe next Christmas. But let me put it up here. The fan won't blow it away. And then last night I did a little bit of work on this. Well, I have control issues for my nephew. I worked a little bit more on it. And there's a cat here. I thought I got them all off. I did get them all. This is a new one. Everywhere in my life there are cat hairs everywhere. So I worked tomorrow. This is still, I'm working on the game controller thing. And up here and right here are going to be the 3 colored buttons, red, yellow, and blue. And then over here is going to be the black on black cross-shaped controller button here. And there is another shade of gray that's gonna go here. There's I don't know what it is, and then outlining the on the bottom of the buttons or whatever here to give it some, gives it some depth, I guess. And then on the bottom of the controller, you know. And then I have control issues. I have, you know, the way it's designed to go on white fabric, and so I have control issues thing is in black and all that. But I did it on this black just to give it a different look. And so I chose a different color for the different. Almost all of them are different colors, frankly, because this is supposed to be a darker gray. Excuse me. And I use this lighter gray so it would show up better, and then the darker one is going to be the shading that was originally supposed to be black, and a different color for the words. This needle binder is one of the ones I got at Hobby Lobby it's by Yarnology. And I like them. I like the rest of them. They have these little button. There's my back. There's my back. These little sort of lumpy, you know, rounded fabric covered backs to them, and they're nice. Except this particular one, especially, I guess, is not very strong. And I don't know if it's, well, because of the size of the magnet, because the magnet has to be pretty small on this one to keep it, you know, to fit there. But anyway, so the magnet that's on the back of these scissors here is very tiny, and it's not very strong. And so, like I said, excuse me. But it's very easy to pop it off. I just like, you know, like putting it in the bag, my project bag or whatever. You know, I just have to like kind of touch it on the, if I accidentally touch it on the edge, it pops it off. And ordinarily I wouldn't use one on that because I'm doing this in hand. It's, you know, it's kind of stiff. The Ada is kind of stiff, and I don't know where I got it. I might have bought it. I'm sure I bought it at Hobby Lobby, but I don't know if this is one that I've had for a while or a newer one. But anyway, it's pretty stiff, and it was so stiff that I had it in a hoop at first, and it was just kind of annoying. So I just took it out of the hoop, and I'm doing it in hand, and it's just easier to do. But anyway, but I do have I have one cloth project bag and a couple of zipper bags that I bought recently, like the one I bought that I showed last week. And then the rest I have plastic Ziploc bags. And they're fine, except that, you know, like I said, all it takes is like a bump. When I'm putting it in the bag, just a little bit of a bump somewhere in the bag or whatever, and this thing pops off, and, you know, I'm searching in the back for the needle, and you know, it's just annoying, you know. It's one of those things. Back when I was a kid, we didn't have those fancy needle minders. Anyway, but one thing I did, what happened to me, is that a lot of this here I had to take out because when I was doing this part, I guess, what was it? Yeah, when I was doing this, you know, I got this part up here. As I was going up, I was climbing up, doing, you know, these stitches up here, and there wasn't, you know, I guess there's like 2 rows of gap here, and there wasn't going to be enough room. And I thought, well, this is like one too high, and I realized the problem went all the way back to here, because I am an out and back stitcher. It's just the way I learned. You know, back in the 80s, or late 80s, when I learned how to cross stitch, all the little, you know, I did a lot of kits, and all the kits said, you know, how to cross stitch. Do chung 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 chung, you know, I do it bottom left to top right, generally. So, I mean, that's the way I do the first, half of the stitch. So, do however many stitches out, and then come back and cross, finish the crosses. So I do that all the time. Even on this one with the Weeks Dye Works variegated threads, most of the time I stitch the same way. One kit I got some time ago said, like, to do the out and back kind of stitching, unless you're going vertically, then you do one stitch at a time, which I don't do. I always do, no matter which way I'm stitching or whatever, I do out and back, unless of course it's like something like a line that that doesn't lend itself to that somehow or whatever. I'll do one stitch at a time if it's expedient. But I just sort of like, it's just a habit, I guess, or something. I don't know. But anyway, but it is problematic when you, like, in a case like this, because that meant I had to go all the way back until, it was just, it seems like a lot of undoing, to get to the point where I could fix it, and it was just a pain in the butt. But I fixed it, and I went on. And excuse me. So I think right now I'm working on these rows, and I'll work my way back up here and back here and back across here and so on and so forth. But yeah, so this is control issues. And then I have a little bit of haul. So pardon the plastic noise, because I kept it in this bag because I didn't want the cats to get at it. And, so I went to Hobby Lobby Thursday with my older sister, and then yesterday, Friday, with both of my sisters. It's kind of a long story. So Thursday, I went with my older sister because she was thinking that she might do some punch needles. She did it years and years and years ago. I want to say when she was a freshman in college or something. She was taking an art class, and they actually created, designed punch needle projects and did them. And this was using like yarn, apparently, and a large size needle. And this was in the days before, like I said, when she was a freshman in college, would have been like 79, 80 that year, I think. It was a long time ago. Sorry, Eve. Told everybody how old you were. But so it was a long time ago. It was, before the days of computers, easily, little computers, and before the days of PC Stitch and things like that. So anyway, they designed it like with construction paper or something, and and then did their designs. So anyway, she's more or less familiar with punch needle, but when we went to the attic, I guess last week, one of the things I bought, of course, was the Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine that I showed last time. And so she was looking through it and found one of the designs, and so we went. So that's why we were at Hobby Lobby. We went and got the threads, and she, I have a punch needle. My younger sister gave me. She gave me an unfinished punch needle project, and and she said, you might want to do that, whatever. And so she gave me the little punch needle that she bought for it, and I just never got around to doing it because I don't know how to do it, and I may eventually, but not yet. So anyway, so my older sister wanted to buy a punch needle thing, and the design that she chose out of that magazine said something about using like 2 different size needles. And so we were looking at what they had at Hobby Lobby, because I knew that like at Joann's, they carry the Ultra Punch thing, you know, but at Hobby Lobby, I guess they don't carry that. They have a couple of other brands. But anyway, so they had this one that was in a box that had like, I think four different size needles, and had a little spool thing that you could put the thread on, you know, to punch it or whatever. But so we went ahead and bought that. She bought that. It was kind of expensive, you know, but she bought it. But then that night, I guess, she was, you know, trying to put it together, and there were not any instructions on the box, in the box, nowhere. And where you would put the needle in, you know, the different size needles that you could change out. It seemed like there was a screw thing cut out, like you would screw something in, but there was nothing to screw in there. And the little needle things wouldn't go in there, wouldn't go, you know, where they go in the screw thing. So it was missing a piece, maybe? I don't know, but there was nothing, there were no instructions on how to do anything. And so, you know, she fiddled around with it for a while and thought, nope, I'm taking it back. So she took it back, and just bought a simple little single needle, you know, thing. So, and I guess on the instructions, it called for this one thread, and we just substituted something else. And that was what you needed the other needle for, I guess, or something. Anyway, so it's an ongoing experiment. But so anyway, Thursday was when she bought the one that she couldn't use, and so Friday she wanted to take it back and exchange it, and that's when my younger sister was with us. We went to see a movie. We went to see Bridget Runs a Marathon, which is a very, very good movie. Go see it if you have a chance. But we went to go see that movie, and so then we went to Hobby Lobby afterward, so she could make the exchange. So while I was there, of course, I had to buy something. So the first day I went, I just bought a couple of skeins of thread. I bought just some black and white, because, you know, you always need a black and white, and I seemed to be running out. But so on Friday, when we were there, I bought some more DMC. Some 701, because I seem to, I don't know, I need more. And then I bought some darker colors. These are kind of, I didn't want to use, I think I'm going to try to make some cording or something for this project for when I make it into a pillow. But the red, you know, these are Week Starworks colors, and I'm not going to use those to try to make thread. But this is you know, close. This shade of red is kind of close to this, and this shade of green is kind of close to the green. There are 2 greens that are used in this, so this shade of green is kind of close to that. Doesn't clash with it anyway. So these are this is 815 and 936. These darker green colors. And I probably have these, but since I'm going to make cording out of these, I'm going to try to make cording out of these. I wanted to get 2 just whole skeins to use, because it's gonna. I'm gonna probably need to make a long piece, so I wanted, you know, a fresh skein. And I saw this. So my younger sister was buying some yarn to crochet. I think to crochet into a hat, baby hats for some friends of hers. And so while we were in the yarn aisle, I saw this little pouch, Notions pouch, with little sheets all over it. It's got, like, you know, little bundles of wool, you know, but and some, I guess, knitting needles, and with the ball of yarn or whatever. And, you know, I'm not into knitting, but I don't care. I like those sheep. The sheep are very cute. Little sheep eating flowers. Munching on flowers. Very cute. Very cute. So, yeah. And it says, you know, sew, knit, yarn on there. Very cute. I just wanted to have that. It's so cute. And then I bought a little kit, little camping kit. I think I might do this for my brother. Just, you know. And I don't know about the little pink heart there. I might do something different, but, you know, it's kind of cute. And it has a little pink pom-pom. It's a kit, so it comes with a little stuff, but I might do something different besides the little pink pom-pom. I don't know. But, and, you know, I don't know if I'm going to do the little hanging thing or, do, you know, finish this little, because I think it comes with this little banner thing the way it is and a dowel. So I don't know if I'm going to change that at all or not. But maybe I'll just not, like, put something different besides the pom-pom on there or something like that. But yeah, I like this little happy camper idea. My brother actually had a camper at one time. I don't know if he still has it or not. But at one time he had a camper like this. We called it his I Love Lucy camper. Because it's kind of like 1950s, you know, looking. And we took it one time, a couple times, I guess, that we went camping. There's a campground we used to go to as kids that my parents used to take us to called Santa Barbara, up in the mountains of New Mexico, kind of up between Santa Fe and Taos, kind of, up there, way up there, about 9,000 feet above sea level. And it would get cold, you know, in the summertime, overnight, you know, it was like, you know, in the 50s or something up there, 40s, 50s. But so we used to go there as kids all the time. But then when as young adults, they were like, the Forest Service was redoing the campground, so we couldn't camp in Santa Barbara. It was being renovated, whatever. And so we camped at this place called Hodges, which is just below Santa Barbara, and but it's kind of unimproved, whatever. But so we had some tents, and we had this little camper, and so my mom and my aunt and my sister, I think my older sister, stayed in the little camper, and my brother and his girlfriend stayed in he had a van, and they stayed in the van, and then the rest of us had tents, went over. But anyway, so yeah, so he had, you know, this little camper. So this reminds me of his little camper that he used to have. Excuse me, just a minute. Sorry, that was my phone. Anyway, so I bought this little kit. So if I have time, and if it looks like it's relatively simple, she says. But anyway, so I might add that to my Christmas list. My unchanging Christmas list. No matter what I do, it's always like 10 projects or whatever. It's October, so I have 1, 2, 3, October, November, December, 3 months basically to finish everything. I don't know. It remains to be seen. And the other good news is that I think Stitch Shenanigans is we got some dates for that, and so those of us who are interested, I guess, or, you know, there's there's no payments being taken yet, but it's, you know, the interest is there. There's a lot of people that are hoping to go, I think, or planning to go, or whatever. So so I'm hoping to do that. It's far enough out. I don't have anything, you know, like interfering with it yet with those dates, and so you know, I have that on my calendar now, so I can work around it if I have to, you know, trying to schedule stuff. But so anyway, that's all of the stuff I have now. as far as my plans for next week are going to be, what they are going to be for next week. We're going out of town. Well, I think I had mentioned, maybe I mentioned it on here, that my brother had some pretty serious surgery, and he's up in Albuquerque kind of by himself. And so, anyway, we all pretty much have this week free, so we're going to go visit him and stay with my aunt who lives up there. She lives pretty close to Tim, and so we're gonna go visit him and see what he needs and if there's anything we can get him, and then we'll see a little bit of New Mexico while we're up there. And the balloon fiesta is going on in Albuquerque, which is both good and bad. It's good because it's beautiful, and we're up there at the right time to see some really pretty, all the beautiful balloons. We're not up there for the mass ascensions, which are this weekend and next weekend. We'll be there in the middle of the week. But there are always balloons in the sky. It's like the most photographed event, I don't know, in the world, in the country, certainly. I would have thought that the Olympics would be the most photographed event, but apparently it's the balloon fiesta. I don't know. But people come from all over the world to bring their balloons there, and there's like hundreds of balloons, and the mass ascensions are the big draw. Saturday and Sunday, they go up, and the special shapes. They have like frogs and pigs and cows and I don't know what. There's one of yellow submarine. They're all hot air balloons, but they're fun, and it's a great weekend. It's a great week, I should say. It goes the first weekend of October, which is today. It starts today, through the second weekend of October, and just and the whole city is like balloon fiesta crazy. You cannot get a rental car. You cannot get a hotel room because they're all taken. They're all booked. Every restaurant in the city just about opens at at the crack of dawn, or before the crack of dawn, so that the balloon fiesta crews can eat breakfast. And everybody has balloon fiesta specials going on. And it's just gorgeous. It's a great place to get like calendars for all your friends, and and anyway, so we'll see a little bit of that while we're up there, and we're coming back on my birthday. We're probably leaving there on my birthday, so I'll spend my birthday on in the whatever it is, 6 hours, 8 hours, whatever, to drive back, to drive between Phoenix and Albuquerque. Anyway, so yeah, we're going up to visit with my brother, and it would be nice if we could take him to see the sights or whatever, just to get out of the house. But I don't think he's really in that place yet. He's still just barely out of surgery. I mean, he's been home for not quite a week, I guess, or something, by the time we get up there. So I think he's he's still got a long ways to go as far as his recovery and his healing and all that goes. But he's doing well, and like I said, my parents are really eager to see him, anxious to see him, and that's going to be good for them, I think, and for all of us, I think. Yeah. So anyway, that's the big plan. So I am going to take probably my giant snowman because that's easy to work on, while I'm there, and then probably the Blackwork Angels, because both of those projects, the Blackwork Angels, there's just 2 colors involved, and the snowman, it's if nothing else, I can just work on the giant snowman, and and maybe get some progress done on that. I figure that during the day, we're going to be running around and whatever, and then, so if I stitch at all, it'll probably be at night or whatever. And we're only going to be there a few days, so, like maybe two full days that we'll be in town, and then 2 traveling days, that, we'll spend most of the time on the road or whatever those days. So, so I might get a little bit of stitching in, on those 2 projects, but probably only those 2 during those days of next week. But anyway, I will be back, here to do an update on Saturday, and I'll let you know how that all goes. And I think that's it. We're, on the next couple of days, I'm getting ready to go out of town, so, I have to think about packing and what I'm going to take and all that. So, I haven't really done a whole lot yet. It's one of those things like, you don't want to do it too early, you don't want to do it all at the last minute, But anyway, so, I think that's it. Yeah. So I will see you next time, and hopefully I'll have some, New Mexico stories to tell, whatever. I don't know. So, all right. Until then, once again, I'm Elizabeth Martinez, phantastitches. And you can, if you're interested in subscribing, if you're not a subscriber yet, there's a button down in the information box below. There's a subscribe button, and there's a little bell also you can click on to get alerts to when I update. And I usually update every Saturday morning. And I think that's it. So I'd appreciate it if you want to go ahead and subscribe. And I will list the projects that I worked on, that I talked about this week. I'll list those in the project in the box below. And that's it. All right, I'll see you next week. Bye.